What's not normal about you? Nice try, Professor X. I moved to a different continent where I have no friends or family and don't know the language. This one time back in 2015 I hit a whip so hard my arm kinda bent the wrong way a little bit, and now I can bend my arm an abnormally large amount and people get freaked out. LMAO. I have one kidney and 2 uteruses. I look older than I am. I'm 6 featuring 2, weigh 190 pounds and have hair growing everywhere. I'm 14. Haha, I am 14 and have the opposite problem. I am like 5 feet 285 pounds and have like no hair. Compliments. I can't take or give them. It's weird and gets me into crap with people I care about. Managed to freak up a couple of dates based on the fact that I can't seem to compliment what I like about them. I know what I like but can't seem to say it, and when they compliment me I don't even respond. It's like I can't, as if I've never heard anything of the sort before. I just sort of freeze and look around awkwardly and have no idea why. It's like I don't believe them or something, but why would they lie to me? I have 20/10 vision. Only remarkable thing about me physically. That's actually amazing. I died after a car accident when I was 16. My heart stopped. I spent 4 days in a coma. Someone's tried to shoot me since then too. I also became a widower when I was 21. My dreams last days to weeks in my head. All repeats of dreams from the coma. I was raised by a capricious, spiteful family that takes every opportunity to hurt and torment each other. From a young age, I was trained to tell, at a glance, if I should walk into a room or not, based on the tiniest cues of mood and body language. As a result, I am so sensitive to people's nonverbal communication that for a long time I thought I had some kind of psychic ability. It's the same thing dogs do. I have visual snow syndrome. It means I see a light filter of static in my vision. It's most notable at night, when I'm looking at a blank wall, or when my eyes are closed. People say they get this sometimes when they close their eyes. I get it all the time. I also just realized not everyone sees this way. Like 6 months ago, I am 29 and have seen this way my whole life. I thought this condition was a normal thing. I have this too. I've just looked it up cause of your comment. This is really interesting, thank you so much. I feel lonelier around people than I do alone. The opposite of loneliness is connection, so you having people around doesn't really mean you'll be less lonely. I know the feels though. You got this. I moved every 2 years of my life to a new city and can speak 7 languages. Try making friends like a normal kid. I don't have to rate as, but sometimes I just feel the need to make a noise or something. I could easily not make the noise, but it feels good to let it out. I feel you. Sometimes I just have to make weird noises and I don't know why. I'm pretty sure I end up annoying everyone around me though. I'm a 32-year-old virgin. Hey, it's okay. I hope, because I am following right behind your footsteps. I volunteer EMT and death doesn't faze me in the least. After a call when someone dies in the rig, everyone always asks doing alright and I'm like, yeah, what do you want for lunch? Then they want to talk about it. I listen. Until people got to know me, they thought I was emotionless. After burying my father at 28, it was abundantly clear that my mortality is a given. We know this inherently, but that cemented it for me. In 49 now and not going through several midlife crises like many friends of mine. I also worked in a neurosurgical office for 7 years and we saw a lot of death. I think all these things have given me a very neutral view of death. I don't know if this is weird, but I must say it anyway. Whenever I get home from a social interaction with new people that I enjoyed, I feel like I fricked up and the people I met actually hate me. It sucks because I had fun at the time, but I can't stop thinking about the fact that all the people I just laughed and had fun with probably found me incredibly annoying. You sound like you might have some degree of social anxiety. I'm not a psychologist and I may very well be wrong, but there is help to be found if you want it. I've got Marfan syndrome, so I look like the human embodiment of Slender Man. I have delayed phase sleep syndrome. Where I am now, it is 3:20 AM. This is normal for me without any caffeine or any mind-altering substances or anything in particular to keep me awake. If it weren't for society, I'd either default to sleeping between 4 and noon or sleep in 2 lots of 4 hours each. Stupid society. Sometimes I black out and my brain shows me the worst in a situation. Example, was in the car with my sister when we hit a patch of ice and she swerved. I blacked out for a second and only saw the car flipping over and going off the highway. When I came back to, we were completely fine. Example 2. On the way to a soccer game when I was 9 and saw a car swerve and hit the center median, go up in the air, flip over, land on the roof, and spin about 10 more feet. My dad pulled over and got out, running across the highway to see if they were okay. Same thing, blacked out, saw my dad get hit by a car, came to, and he was safely across and helping get the family out of the car. Now that's just Final Destination. I have severe anxiety to the point I had to drop out of high school. I'm stupid tall and have to duck through most doors. HRNNG Colonel, I'm trying to sneak around but I'm stupid tall and the clap of my forehead on door frames is alerting the guards. I have trouble crying. Literally haven't cried in 10 years. I have that problem too. Haven't cried in like 8 years. Friends say that the one thing they've never seen is me cry. I feel it has something to do with me not showing much emotion at all. I never smile either. Something from a rough childhood maybe. A lot of the abnormal things about me are physical. For example, I have a slightly smaller than usual third nipple under my left nipple. I also have a concave chest and a very fast metabolism. I can give you photo evidence for everything, apart from the fast metabolism, because how the frick would I do that, lol. I have a tiny third nipple under my right boob. I like to show people and they are always like, no, it's just a mole. So I make them look real close and yeah, probably make people feel awkward. I had a doctor confirm that it actually is in fact a third nipple. I have debilitating mood swings. I have bursts of hyperactivity that make it really hard to speak clearly, followed by feeling dead inside. I'm just so high and low all the time. I'd go get tested for bipolar. I'm like that and rapid cycle. So I feel these highs and lows really fast, whereas typical bipolar tends to have longer stretches of mania depression. Once I was medicated, I was able to function and get a firm grip on reality. For someone who doesn't have a problem with uprooting his life and moving to a new country, I for some reason feel strongly about people who I like or respect. The fricked up thing is that it doesn't take much time. I can meet someone and become curious about them, wanting to make them happy, etc. without a gender, even though they don't really care for my existence. Sometimes I do want their friendship, but that is also rare, so you can imagine how great that goes for me usually. I'm autistic. Same. I have Asperger's, but I have poor memory retention and no savant skills. So basically, I have all the negatives with none of the positives. I have really bad sleeping problems. If I don't sleep lightly, don't know how to control this aside from not being dead tired or taking sleeping pills, then I'll have hypnopompic hallucinations. But if I sleep lightly, like I was 4 hours ago, then any sudden hit, such as a gentle slap on my chest from my GF rolling over, will wake me up and I won't fall back asleep even though I'm tired. Before people ask, 1. Yes, I went to a professional and they told me that I have restless leg syndrome. I don't. The medication they gave me did nothing. 2. Yes, I put my phone down before going to sleep and can lay in bed, get up and read for hours but won't sleep. 3. I have an oil diffuser and a weighted blanket. They help but not much. Life sucks when you're constantly tired. If I don't sleep enough, I hear voices. Sleep deprivation psychosis is not that unusual, although most people don't experience auditory hallucinations. I had an extremely religious mother growing up and as a result had a terrible childhood. I have crippling anxiety. If someone tells me about a problem, mostly just to vent and not actually to have me solve it, I look for a solution to that problem and actually don't notice how they feel. Oh no, I am not falling for this again. I have ADD. I don't mind it though. Same, it really only makes taking tests, quizzes, or exams. They're basically the same thing anyway, kind of harder. If I do something on one side of my body, I have to do it on the other side. That is, if I get a scratch on my left arm, I also have to scratch my right arm. Otherwise I won't be comfortable for the whole day. Me too. It's annoying touching, for example, a guardrail with my arm while walking near it and then trying to touch it with my other arm while I keep going. 3 kidneys. One for all 3 Keiths. I'm very isolated most of the time. Most of the communicating I do is through the internet. Phone calls fill with anxiety. Being social is a nightmare for me. 29. 15 years of this and 3 years of therapy. Still struggling. Didn't have the best family life, school life growing up. I have severe lazy eye and am legally blind in that eye. I'm the most judgmental non-judgmental person I know. By that I mean that I understand where people are coming from and genuinely empathize with them. But if they do even the slightest small strange thing, look at me weird, spit when they talk, say something fricked up to be funny, etc., I'll raise an eyebrow and just look at them like a zoo creature. I was diagnosed with Asperger's in sophomore year of high school, so I spent literally all my energy trying to appear not autistic to the point that I lost every trait that was considered part of the spectrum. I bathed, groomed, took advanced classes, and had, albeit only in school, I didn't talk to my classmates outside of school, friends. To not judge myself and others harshly was social suicide on a scale that I couldn't handle. So I shunned the other autistic kids because I genuinely hated myself for being on the spectrum. I found that the geeks and outcast were generally accepting of me even if I was a bit serious, and they let me sit with them at lunch and join their groups in classes. Whenever I saw traits of autism in other people in HS, people who don't seem to care that their actions and speech patterns were strange, I want to judge them. Even people in the friend group I was a nominal member of were subject to me looking at them like they were from another planet. I guess I wanted them to know the things about themselves that I wish I knew about myself. What other people actually thought about them. If I knew what things were instantly wrong just by mind reading, then I would never have had a social issue in my whole life. I have synesthesia. I'm either horribly self-sabotagingly lazy or I have severe executive disorder. That as a nearly 40 years old I still suffer severe anxiety. I'm a literal, painfully so, thinker, and I don't like physical contact. I can put my ear in my ear and it will be stuck. I can also press against my ear and it will be stuck in that position. I've been able to do this since birth and have never seen anyone else that is able to do this. I sleep 14-18 hours a day. I have Tourette syndrome. Left-handed. My mom thinks I'm out of my mind because I decided not to have any children in my life. Not abnormal. You have been visited by the angel of freedom. Comment I love freedom in the comment to be free forever. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.